Good morning, my friends. Today we're going to get ready for our word problem. So go ahead and set your problem up. It's going to look a little different today. I like to make sure that I keep you on your toes, so we got to make sure that the word problems are different just about every day. So today what I want you to do is I want you to set up your problem by making the big plus sign in the middle of your paper or your whiteboards. Then what I want you to do is I want you to create two number bonds down here. When you get that ready, let's begin our problem. Here's our problem for today. Kira and Fadila were picking blueberries. Kira had 19 and ate 10. Fadila had 13 and picked 7 more. Compare them. See, I didn't say how many more or who had fewer. I didn't ask you that. What I wanted to know is how can you compare them? And that's what we're going to be doing today. So it's going to look a lot different. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how many Kira had and how many Fadila had. So let's begin. So what we're going to do is up here, we're going to be drawing two different things, okay? So within this box, we're just going to draw a little line going down like this. I'm going to label this a K for Kira, and I'm going to label this F for Fadila. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use quick tens, which are 10 sticks, and ones to draw what we need to draw. So it said that Kira had 19. So we have to remember 19 is 10 and 9, right? 10 plus 9 is 19. So I'm going to make my quick 10, and I want you to do this with me. So there's 10, and then we're going to make 9 ones going up, okay? So 10. We have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now remember, we're making 9 dots because the only time we make that stick is if there were 10, okay? So there's our 19. It said she ate 10 of them. So what do you need to do? That's right, we need to cross off 10. Well, I don't have 10 here to cross off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cross off the 10 stick. So I'm going to put an X through the 10 stick, which leaves me with 9. So we have 9 blueberries that Kira has, okay? Now we have to make Fadila's. Fadila had 13 to start, so we're going to do 13, 10, 3. So here's our 13, 10, and then our 3 ones. So she has 1 10 and 3 ones. You got that? Now it says she picked 7 more. Let's draw her 7 more. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my 7 more. What do you notice right now? That's it. If you noticed that there are now 10 here, I can turn that into another 10 stick, couldn't I? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw a straight line through it because I know now that's a 10 stick. So now let's see how many she has. She has 2 10s. So 2 10s is 20. 10, 20. So I hope in your mind you're thinking to yourself, I think I know how to compare these two. So we know Kira now has 9 and Fadila has 20. But let's do our number bonds first, okay? So again, I'm going to put a K here for Kira and an F here for Fadila. Now, let's see what we can do. We know that Kira started with 19, okay? She started with 19. So if she started with a total and then took a part away, then we know that 19 comes up here as our total. So she had 19, and we're going to put a B for blueberries there. We know that she ate, I'm going to put an A for 8, 10 of them. So if I were to punch 10 and count up to 19, or punch 19 and count backwards to 10, my answer is going to be 9. And we're going to say L for left. She had 9 left. Now, let's look at Fadila's. Fadila didn't give us her total to start. She gave us her parts. she said she had picked 13, and then she picked 7 more. So I'm going to put here she had, so we're going to say had 13, and M, because she picked 7 more. So her total B for blueberries is 20. So watch this. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it matches, okay? So again, we know that this is how you fill in your number bonds, okay? But it doesn't tell you the answer. It just shows you how to fill in your number bonds. Because Kira's problem started off with the total where Fidelis gave us the parts, okay? Now, we need to see if we can tell a difference. Well, in just looking at my numbers, I can tell you that if I made a tens and ones frame, actually 2 of them, so go ahead and make 2 of them for me. If I was doing Kira's, I know she's got 9, okay? And I could put my imaginary 0 in there because we don't have any 10s, we just have 9 ones. Where Fidelis, we're gonna put an F for Fidela, we have 2 10s and no ones. So, when I'm comparing them, I want you to think about this. We've been working on greater than, less than, and equal to. So when you look at that, what could you say? Keeping in mind that you have to read from left to right. So we're reading Kira's. So I can say Kira's is, I'm going to say Kira is less than Fidela, right? Or I can say 9 is less than 20. Would you agree with that? I sure hope so. So now we need to make a statement. And we can say Fidela has more blueberries than Kira. So let's write that. Fidela has more blueberries than, not then, than Fidela. See how we did that? Now, if you want to get tricky, one thing I want to ask you is this. How many more does Fidela have than Kira? Tomorrow you'll find out the answer. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some numbers and number order. Now, numbers don't always go in a simple order. Sometimes they go counting by ones forwards. Sometimes they go counting by ones backwards. Sometimes they go by 10s, sometimes they go by 5s, by 2s. It doesn't matter. They can go by anything. But I want you to know how to check it out and how to figure these out, because your sprint for today is going to be looking like this. And it's going to look at different sets of numbers, and you need to know how to figure it out and what the pattern is, because that's what you're looking at, is patterns. Okay? So I made some samples here. The first one is very simple. 4, 5, 6, and hopefully you said 7, and 7 would be the answer. And next, we're going to go backwards. 17, 16, 15. That's right, 14. But here's my question for you. How did you know that was 14? And if you didn't know it was 14, how can you figure it out? Well, let's take a look at something. Let's break it apart into 10s and 1s. So if I look at my 10s, every single number has a 1 in the 10s. And I told you, you have to look at the ones after that. If the digit in the 10 spot is the same, you look at your ones. So all of ours are the same, so then you look at your ones. So if my ones are going down by 1 each time, so I am from 7 to 6, 6 to 5, obviously that's going to go 5 to 4. So it's as if you're counting down 7, 6, 5, 4, and then you add your 1 in front of it, okay? Now, we're going to get a little trickier. Check this one out. 26, 36, blank, 56. What's the missing number? Well, I'm hoping you noticed that the ones digit did not change. Look at 6, 6, 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 6 in my ones to start. I'm just going to put it right there because I know that has not changed. What I do need to figure out what changed is my tens. My tens look like they're going up. I have a 2, 3, something, and then a 5. Well, what's my missing number? 2, 3, that's right, 4, 5. So if I put a 4 here, let's see if it makes sense. 26, 36, 46, 56. Yeah, that sounds right. So, again, if you notice that your ones are all the same, then the missing number is going to have that same digit. And then you have to look at the other number, okay? Let's take a look at this one. So it goes 18, 16, 14, blank. So let's keep up with what we've been saying. My ones have not changed, my tens have not changed. There's a 1 in their place. So we have a 1 in our tens. But now we need to take a look at our ones. 8, 6, 4, blank. What do you notice? Do you notice anything? In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, if I count by twos, let's do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so I'm kind of skipping every other number. This looks like that backwards, doesn't it? So let's see if we can figure this out. So I have 8. The number that comes before that is 7, but then it's 6, 5, 4, 3. Right, it's going to be a 2. So if you kind of count backwards, and I kind of use these commas as little counters in my head for me. Did you notice that? So I did 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It just helped me to count if I wasn't sure by counting by twos. And lastly, let's take a look at this one. We're missing our very first number. And then we've got 24, 26, 28. Again, the 2 has not changed in the tens digit. Did you notice that? So I know it's going to be 20 something, but what is that something? Well, it looks to me again that it's counting by twos. So I've got 4, 6, 8. Okay? But how do I figure this number out? Well, let's work it backwards. If I have 8, remember that comma trick? So I have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. That's going to be a 2. So 22 is my answer. There's usually a way to figure it out if you really take a good close look at the numbers. What I want you to do is make sure that you're looking for patterns, looking for something that hasn't changed, and figuring out what digit it is. Is it your tens? Is it your ones? And that will help you. Okay, we're ready for our lesson. And what we're going to do today is a lot of review of what you've done over the past couple of days. I just want to give you some reminders, and your work today is very simple and it shouldn't take you long at all. But you just have to have these few reminders. Tomorrow's lesson, you really need to bring your thinking caps because tomorrow's lesson is going to start some brand new stuff and it's going to get a little tricky. So here's your review for today. I want you to remember a few things. First of all, when we're looking at numbers, we're reading just like we do a book from left to right. So if we look here, it reminds us, we say 25 is greater than 20 because we're reading from left to right. Same thing here. We have to say is less than because we're reading from left to right. 20 is less than 25. So again, left to right. So same thing is important when we look at numbers when they're set up like this. Now, when they're set up like this, you have this circle in the middle. And in that circle, we need to put a symbol. And we need to remember what our symbols are. We have the greater than symbol, the less than symbol, and the equal to symbol. I need you to remember that the mouth opens up to the bigger number. Okay? The other thing I want you to do too is when you look at a problem, if it doesn't just give you a number, what I'd like you to do is make yourself a tens and ones frame. If you make yourself a tens and ones frame, it's going to help you see the number a lot clearer, okay? So let's take a look at this first example I have. I have 3 tens, 8 ones, and on the other side, I have the number 36. So I just said we need to make a tens and ones frame. Do I have a lot of room? No, I don't, and you usually don't either. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a very small tens and ones frame. It doesn't have to be big. It's got to be big enough for you to see, for you to recognize what number it is. So in here it says 3 tens, and it says 8 ones. So I'm looking at the number 38, okay? So I need to figure out, is 38 greater than, less than, or equal to the number 36? So if I look at my tens digit, well, they're both the same. So then I have to look to my ones. I have an 8 here and a 6 here. I know 8 is bigger than 6. So that means 8 is greater than 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the mouth this way because that number is bigger. Follow me so far? Now, here's the next one, and they're going to try to trick you, okay? We've talked about this. Let's just review this really quick. So I said to you, here's the number 34. 3 tens and 4 ones. But what I also said to you, 34 can look just like this. It could be 34 ones. So I have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. I have 34 ones. Isn't 34 ones the same as 3 tens and 4 ones? All they did was trade in some ones to make some 10 sticks. So let's think about this number here. This says 26 ones. Well, 26 ones is exactly the same as me saying 2 tens and 6 ones. Because all I did was trade in 10 ones for a 10 stick. And then I did it again, 10 ones for a 10 stick. So 26, and here I have a 26 here. You should notice that they're exactly the same. If they're the exact same thing, you're going to put your equal sign in the middle, okay? I hope you're with me so far. Here's the last one, and they will do this to you. They're going to try to trick you, but I'm going to get you ready so that you don't get tricked, okay? Because you're going to look closely at your problems. So we're going to do our tens and ones frame here, okay? This says 5 ones and 1 10. Did you hear it? 5 ones and 1 10. They switched it around on us. Don't get tricked. Read it. 5 ones. Well, I'm not going to put that 5 here because that's the 10 spot. I have to put the 5 over here. And 1 10. Well, here's the 10 spot. So I have the number 15. And this is the number 51. Let's look at our tens. I have a 1 here, I have a 5 here. Which one is bigger? That's right. So the mouth is going to open this way. So this is read 15 is less than 51. Do you see what they did though? They counted on you just writing 5 and 1. And if you wrote just 5 and 1, guess what? You would have put the equal sign in the middle. But you're smarter than that. You read the problem, so you didn't get tricked. Okay, so you ready for your easy work for today? Today's work is going to be on page 36 and page 37. So 36 looks like this. And all you're going to do is put the symbol in. You're going to make sure that the sign is opening up to the bigger number. Not hard, just watch your numbers. Okay? Then we're going to flip over here, and I'm going to do letter C with you. Okay? So, letter C looks like this on page 37. It says 2 tens, 4 ones, and then it says is greater than, is less than, is equal to. Well, I ran out of room for writing it, so I didn't write the whole thing out. And here's the number 34. So, again, if we follow what I told you to do, and I want you to do this, I'm going to be looking to see if you did. I want you to make a tens and ones frame. So underneath the 2 tens and 4 ones, we're going to make a tens and ones frame, just like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fill it in. This says 2 tens. So I'm going to put my 2 here. And then it says 4 ones. So you know that you have the number 24. So we're looking at 24 and 34. That's what we're comparing. Remember, that's what we're doing. We're comparing numbers. Now, to figure out what is the answer, I'm going to look at my tens first. I have a 2 here and I have a 3 here. I know 3 is bigger. So that means I'm going to read from left to right. So we're going to say 24, is it greater than, less than, or equal to 34? That's right, it's less than. So we're going to say 24, and you're going to circle is less than 34. Now what it wants you to do is says, okay, now that you know what the numbers are, we want you to write the numbers and write the symbol. So we're going to fill in the 24 and the 34 in the exact order that it's here. You can't switch them around. So drop it down, 24 here, drop this down, 34 here. Now remember, it opens up to the bigger number, and we just figured out that 34 is bigger than 24. So we're going to read it, 24 is less than 34. All right, there's your quick lesson for today. What I want you to do is make sure you get all your work done, and then have your mom and dad take pictures of it and send it on in.